Have you ever heard of the snowball effect? It's when a situation becomes bigger and bigger and faster rate. Yeah, that sums up what I'm feeling right now. It all started when I sold assets while endorsing my commissions. I thought if I sold my work for cheap, or even for free, there would be people who would be interested enough to pay for bigger for some custom ones that they need in their game. Hi? Is this where I can get commissions? Wait, that actually worked. So now, aside from my main project, which you should check out by the way, I find myself in the middle of a whole development team and playtesters as a card game artist. So hi, how's it going? The name's Silurus, and all of this started when someone named Junie asked me if I wanted to make a Steam poster for his game Divine Engage. And I was like, sure, I would love to be able to paint for you. Let me just calculate the price and whoa. That's the biggest commission I've ever done. Let me just give a first-time client discount and yeah, you would have to pay me this amount of money to make me work at this. Oh, sure, that's great. What? So now I'm suddenly making a poster for this guy named Junie, and I can't really make a poster if I don't understand what I'm making a poster of. While he gave me references and a vision, I thought I should play the game. Now the way he explains the game now is basically rock, paper, scissors on steroids. Basically, there's 3 types of elements in the game that counter each other: wind, earth, and lightning. Wind beats lightning, lightning beats earth, and earth beats wind. If you play the same type, the fight is determined by the amber cost in the bottom of the card. Following along? Because the way you basically win is by collecting 3 tokens of the same type or 3 different tokens. In rock, paper, scissors terms, if you win with a scissor, you get a scissor token. And you will win when you either have 3 scissor tokens or 1 token for each rock, paper, and scissors. So the more you win, the more predictable you become. But at this point of the game, it was in its very early stages. I told him that it relied too much on RNG, but it had a lot of potential. With all these in mind, I present to you Divine Engage's first ever poster. This took me a month to make. I don't take that long for my personal art, but client work goes crazy, man. I tried to implement all 3 types and the different characters that he sent me. Overall, I really liked it and was just glad to be a part of something that might be big someday. That was it. End of story. Or so I thought. A couple months go by and I'm back for another one. So yeah, apparently at that point he wanted to up the production and commission me for some card backs, some icons, and of course the environment for the game. And I said sure, let me just calculate the price again and that's the biggest commission I've ever done. Again, so yeah, you'd have to pay me this amount of money to make me. Sure, why not? God damn it. So I started working on some card backs, some icons, and the environment. I was really inspired on how Riot Game does it because I'm just a big Riot Games fan. So I took a lot of inspiration from Legends of Runeterra. Of course, this is client work, so I had to consider what the client wanted too. He sent me references from games like Hearthstone, and it really helped on things like the card fonts. We're out here stealing like artists, boys. In the end, it turned out great. I really like the card backs, but the environment might still be edited in the future since they're still adding features, but for now, I still really like it. But in the middle of this commission, Junie sent me a link that would change my perspective in this whole project. A link, or should I say, an invite, to a server called the Tavern. Apparently, this is where the playtesting will occur. I didn't think much of it at the time. We were all invited to participate if we wanted, and I just thought, why not? I made the art for the game and all. I should at least watch and see what happens. So I ended up being the first to play the game. This is fine. This is fine. But before we go into the playtest, I should update you guys on how the game works now. So for the first playtest, the rules are still roughly the same, 3 elements that beat each other, and you win by getting the same winning conditions. But this time, there are 3 lanes that you can play cards in, and the 3rd lane is called the Vault. So when you win the round, you get whatever element you have placed in the vault. Each lane would compete with each other, and which side wins more gets to get the token. So if you have won the round by getting 2 lanes out of 3, and you put a lightning card in the vault, you get a lightning token. Following along, because there's one interesting addition to the game now. a fourth element called Elemental. They exist outside of the elemental advantage and care purely on which amber cost is higher, which makes them really easy to understand, but also surprisingly really fun. But there was a bit of a problem with elementals. In the first playtest, they were really strong. Like, really strong. Now, they hosted the first playtest in a site called playingcards.io, which is surprisingly really good and I've never heard of it. Although a lot of it is manual placement and calculations, we could playtest without the need of coding in an actual digital version. And it only has just a bit of ads every now and then, and it's totally free. Now, the first playtest is really memorable since in the very first round, I managed to pull off a 200 IQ move against the guy who made the game. We put 3 cards in each lane and my plan was to go really strong from the very start. I mean, who would expect a big brain move in the very first round on the very first playtest, right? But I saw my hand and thought, this could work. So we revealed the first lane and it was both Earth, but I had the bigger amber cost. So I take lane 1. Lucky start. Lane 2 gets revealed and we both had lightning. But again, I had the bigger amber cost. I took round 1. But it's not time to be happy yet because my plan worked. I needed to win lanes 1 and 2 to really activate my plan. Because in my lane 3 is a 0 amber cost win card called Coral. But why did I put a 0 power card? Because Coral, you see, has an ability that if I won with it in the board, I would get 2 tokens instead of 1. It's a strong ability, but you still have to sacrifice the possibility of an amber win in that lane. But because I won lanes 1 and 2, I got 2 win tokens immediately, creating an opportunity for a very rare 2-round win if I play my cards right. This is the first game to ever be played. I might just make a name for myself here as a divine engaged legend. But I lost every round after that. Well, I had a good first round, you know. There were some cool cards that we played though, like Falco, that if it won its lane, it would convert every card you played into an elemental. Which was really strong, by the way, since every fight that round would just revolve around Amber, which makes it way more predictable. That's like saying let's play rock, paper, scissors, and you use tornado and you start punching each other. That had to be nerfed. And of course, Divine Engage will not be complete without mentioning the Divine cards. They're basically your strongest cards which either have a really high Amber cost or really powerful effects in the game. Right now we have Locke, Zephyr, and Vena, which have really interesting effects for each. In this game, there's not really any mana or energy that limits you from playing anything, so technically you can play this in round 1 if you get them, or save them for a tactical round to get your last token or something. I don't know, I'm not that good in this game. But there were also cards like Mudoink, which is like a meme card. Hard to win with because it's an Earth card which has only 1 Amber cost. You had to be lucky with your lane placement since everything else would completely obliterate it. Luckily enough, my opponent sniped me with it, so it put 3 0 Amber Elemental called Phenomrams in my deck, which are basically useless. So yeah, no, that was fun. But definitely, Mudoink would be something I would definitely play when the cool digital version is out, and I could build my decks and stuff. Since I like messing around, I used to use Teemo. If you know, you know. I like being annoying with the most random cards, so that was kind of my mentality going towards the second playtest. I kind of want to use this dumb, silly pig to win my matches. And that went, well, it's easier to just tell you what happened. Because for the second playtest, I played with more people other than just Junie, the creator of the game. We spun a wheel and I was paired with someone called Small Boss, which he said he had some card game experience under his belt, and I thought, I have that too. I have played my fair amount of card games in my life, so I was going to the playtest with a plan. I would win with this pig, or I will lose trying. And let's just say, I lost trying. In the game that we played, the first time I played Mudoink, he sniped it with a Falco. This stupid pig became the sacrifice to make his cards even stronger, making them all elementals, which cost me the round. After some time, we played all our cards in our deck, meaning we had to reshuffle. You know what that means. This is a chance for a comeback of a century. So I played Modoink again, somewhere where I thought he wouldn't put Falco, like the center lane or something, and then it was time to reveal it, and it was another Falco. It was another Falco! How does he know? So yeah, I lost pathetically for my first game that day. So we rolled another wheel to see who will I victimize with Modoink this time, and small boss. It was a rematch, and this time I hate this game. I'm pretty sure I gave PTSD to this poor pig with those kind of plays. So I lost twice to small boss that day. And you know what? He messaged me in the server. Look! This is war. I will muster Modoink someday when the game releases, and I will show the world its greatness. For now, I'll take my losses and regroup. Also, after every playtest, Junie would send us forms and feedback on how to improve the game. I just said that elementals should be nerfed, justice for Modoink, and I would love to see spell cards in the game, so it would be less RNG heavy, and things like placement of cards on the lanes can have effects in the round, like how Marvel Snap does it, where some cards are stronger or can only be played in certain lanes, or how Legend of Runeterra has a support card that buff the cards to the right. Things like that would make the game have so much more depth. But after a while, I'm back for a third time this time. He wanted to get the logo and the character art done. So give me a second, I'll just calculate. Oh, Jesus. That's too much, right? So when I calculated the pricing I had, making a lot of the character art would cost him a lot. So much. So we agreed on just doing the logo for now. He decided to hire another artist to make the character art. So I have my fellow artist helping in this project now, and I don't have to be buried in so much work. His name is Beretta Droas. If I pronounce that correctly? Hopefully. Beretta doesn't sound that hard to pronounce. You guys should follow him if you like the project so far. At least he gave Modoink the justice it deserves, so I approve. Then the final playtest session that I attended came. I'm mostly busy with classes, so now I barely attend playtests. But when I heard the updates they did, I just had to join, because apparently they added spells and equipment. That's what I recommended. So I went to the call and played after a while. And can I just say that this change really made the game more exciting and more strategic. You can increase amber cost, you can debuff enemy cards, you can even switch the vault lanes so you can prevent a certain token to be taken by your opponent. It was really fun, mainly because I managed to win a game after so long, even though we had a huge back and forth on who actually won. But yeah, this game is finally taking shape and is really fun to play. They also started trying out other divine cards like Monolith, which is a 9 amber elemental that goes back to your hand if you win, which is crazy strong and will probably get nerfed. Another is Wizgrow, which gives you equipment when played, which is a lot more tame than this massive thing right here. These days they are playtesting some places that are not playingcards.io, so I have not been able to keep up. Also, classes. But I can't wait for the day this game actually has a digital version and you could build decks and stuff. For now, I'm spectating from the side whenever I have free time. Apparently, they're testing out ways on how to improve the base mechanics of the game, like maybe tokens are lane-based, meaning your wins in this lane don't really affect this lane as much, and you would need to win 2 lanes out of 3 in order to win the actual game. They're also kind of worried about the elemental advantages and how just one element would completely lose to the other, not based on power, just elements, and that would completely suck. Like how Modoink can completely obliterate a 10 amber cost card if it has the right element. But overall, I truly did not expect to be here after just selling a few assets and attracting the eyes of the right people. If you want to learn more about this project, there are links in the description about it. And if you want your custom game art, oh, you have found the right place. Or, I don't know, you can just subscribe.